If RRQ Hoshi want to help supplement this 1-1, they definitely need burst.
I'm thinking about disengage at the same time. Burst and disengage, a couple of things come to mind, and especially when it comes down to the mid lane, I'm thinking Aurora. I'm also thinking about Vexana as well, both of which would do all right, because Yve is already gone, and that probably would have been the priority pick had it been let through the bans.
Ooh, respecting the Angela possibility still in the mid lane for RRQ Hoshi from Team Spirit. Interesting.
Yeah, between Liquid and RRQ, like that Angela X is such a big threat. So Coach Vren just covering his bases here.
Yeah, I get it. Makes sense. So now, even though RRQ Hoshi need burst, Team Spirit are still looking to respect. I'm thinking, are they going to respect an XP laner pick for Dyron now? Because I feel like they still definitely need a strong, tanky front. Edith isn't a popular pick in Indonesia, so maybe they might default into more of the tank-heavy ones, sort of like the Terizla.
Wait for no
I mean, I suppose, but I think, right now, Qeon is doing a good job at trying to pinch down on the gold lane, which is probably going to be the biggest problem, because if we're looking at Vren's side, right, as long as you're able to kind of deny farm from your enemy jungler, it's not going to have as much impact in comparison to eventually the scaling marksman that comes later down the line. Not to mention, there's not much burst besides the alpha at this point of time. I mean, Zushin is there, but again, she's not the quote-unquote burst hero you depend on.
That's true. Ooh, low Yi.
Smart.
So yeah, really hard focus on the mid lane here for Team Spirit. So it feels like Team Spirit are telling RRQ Hoshi, let's fight. We want this to be an honest approach to the game. No one going in for any crazy macro plays. We'll see you in the objectives. We'll see you in the river.
Yep, they're letting through the Vex, letting through the Aurora. Farsa has become a more in-demand hero these days. So if you're looking at Team Spirit's draft, besides the Hylos, the Farsa would be fine facing off against an Alpha or Zushin.
We keep doing this. We say Farsa first, but then we need to remember that Cecilion is still an option as well. If you're looking for a scaling type of mid laner, that probably should have been the way to go. But now they're thinking about disengage. Now they have CC to complement on top of the fact that they've got a decent amount of lockdown, whether it be the Blade Surge, whether it be the G Kundo into the Way of the Dragon.
So now Team Spirit are probably thinking about whether they'll keep this high loss in the room or is it going to go into the EXP. Wait, you mentioned CC. I know you were saying crowd control, but what about CC for Kid Bomba?
Is that going to be good enough here, especially when you're blind picking it into potentially Cho or X at this point, right?
That's true, yeah. You still don't see the matchup.
Exactly. I mean, you're going to have to go blind no matter what.
Yeah. All right, let's see what they'll give Kid Bomba or Sao. We're still looking at the flex and the gold laner as well. Harith for Hiko still open.
Khalid's open.
Oh, Khalid, yeah. See what it is? Oh, it's the Akai XP.
Side lane Akai!
They've shown this. I was actually thinking about it because the 1-1's on the other side, and it's one of the age-old responses to a 1-1. You pick Akai at some point, and here comes the Granger. But I like this glue by RRQ.
Yeah, great response here. I mean, they were expecting to have an EXP winning matchup, and I think that, Qeon has done a very good job here. Vren, very good idea with the Granger, because now Granger, Zushin, plus the Hylos, an extremely deadly combo, and you have disengage on top of it.
But there's a clear go for Dyron's glue. Like, he knows where to go. He knows where to find targets. 2 solid targets. Let's see if he wins the lane hard enough to do that.
My question for the Dragons, will you be able to take down Skylar before he flies? Egan, Naisu, let's go.
Thank you so much, panel. And I think the question, the answer to Renmar's question, we'll find out right now between Team Spirit versus RRQ. And looking at the draft, Naisu, what can you say? First time picked the Akai for the side of Team Spirit. Seems like Coach Vren has something in the bag.
Yeah, and it's right now, maybe it's a lot of the Hello Panda we've been doing all day, but hey, I love to see it, bringing it to this matchup. It's going to be crucial for them.
So right now, as we can see, RRQ Hoshi, the performance of this team yesterday was really phenomenal. Again, Edok, unstoppable, unbelievable show plays, and this time he's rocking the same hero at the roamer. But we can see right now, Team Spirit, they're not backing down. They want to get control of the mid, and they can do so because they have high pokes, the Hylos and the Aurora.
I think with that too, the fact that you have, RRQ with a very, they can pick off pretty well. They can get tempo set up pretty well, and this is all what we've seen so far up to this point from them. you know, the whole Kings of the Brawl server. Can they keep the tempo going? Can they set the momentum right away? That's what they go for. Even with a little early action just for the Lith Wanderer own, you know, keeping things in check. But I think it's up to Team Spirit to be able to go ahead and match that. And so far, they've done a pretty good job. I mean, just the preview we got yesterday.
Yeah, and I think for RRQ Hoshi, they really have to even things out. But look at the Sunset Lover already with the pokes.
Wow, there's already a lot of damage coming out from Edok. He's actually going to not be able to pick up the kill. But here comes the rest. Asawa will fall. First blood in the hands of RRQ Hoshi.
And this is what we want from RRQ Hoshi, an early start, early aggression. They have to utilize the fact that they have Sutsujin with the Suyo in terms of taking neutral objectives. Again, paired up with the Sever is going to be easy, but looking at the emblems, anything unusual you see right now?
Nothing too crazy. Again, you know, this I'm waiting to see, especially for Sunset Lover, to be able to pop off on this Jushin pick that, you know, you would naturally think it's picked up, it's prioritized a lot of times, but also how this works with the fact that you also have a hero in the Akai that we don't see too often, but it is tend to be an answer. Oh. They're going to initiate a fight again. They get the flicker out though from Edok, so that's fine and good for Team Spirit. They're going to be able to start up this turtle. RQ Hoshi will get in position. They're waiting to get that orange buff locked in. Might be able to buy enough time. Dairon holding up the front. There's the lockdown with the Frigid Glacier. And Kid Bomba jumps on in with a heavy spin just to zone out Sutsujin as the turtle is secured. And now Dairon's going to back off as well. Good play for the objective from Team Spirit.
So far, so good. Coach Brent was actually saying that in terms of best of one, drafts, preparing for drafts will only get you so far, but it looks like they prepared very well. Kid Bomba again with the Akai pick, last pick, clearly knows his job, which is to soak up the damage, try to zone out Sutsujin as much as possible, because you know you can't go head-to-head with the Suyo early on when it comes to neutral objectives, especially since the Sever and Retribution combination is there. But Hiko, on the other hand, looking at the emblem set, he does go with the Impure ratio. We can expect a lot of sustain coming in from this Granger. So he can go head-to-head with Skylar in terms of the laning phase, even if it's a 1-1.
What do you think about that matchup? I know we haven't seen the Granger too much. You know, it popped up a couple times yesterday. But hold on. I don't think they can actually commit to this. Going back to it, what do you think of the matchup against the 1-1, at least for this Granger?
I think so far with the emblem set of Hiko, I think it's going to be easy for him, especially if the continuous rotation of the mid duo will go towards that gold lane.
Yeah.
Skylar is really going to have a hard time, really needs to maximize his veterancy, his experience up against a rookie Hiko. And so far, you'd expect Skylar to really lead or to really dominate the gold lane despite whatever heroes has been used because of Skylar's experience. But so far, Team Spirit, it seems like they're not backing down. They have the guidance of the three veterans in the form of Sunset Lover, Kid Bomba, and Sabo as well, who is in fact, as mentioned by Renmar, the second highest in total assists in M series history. Imagine that.
It's crazy to think, because that statistic where, you know, Oh My Venus had what, like plus 100 on top of that stat, but definitely still working towards it. That veterancy comes into play for both teams really for this, but you know, still, you gotta imagine Hiko being the youngest player, 16 against a player the caliber of Skylar is definitely a true test for him. And so right now, as both teams get in position, second turtle for the taking, couple shots with the Destinata here. But still, they gotta approach this carefully. They're gonna jump in. Dairon zoned out the heavy spin, the Frigid Glacier to separate them for the fight. Sutsujin will be able to get the turtle, and now the flare brings them back as Dairon falls. Not sure if they still want to fight this. They're gonna back off. RQ gets the objective at the cost of a life of Dairon.
Okay, I think Thieves are right. That was a trade they were willing to take. They couldn't get any much closer to RRQ Hoshi. Again, the threat of Edok, Jit Kundu, as well as the counter initiations that the Rins can provide with the Frigid Glacier. They don't want to overextend as much as possible. So right now, they're just getting the things that they can against an aggressive lineup with RRQ Hoshi right now. So far, not so much lead established by RRQ Hoshi. Looking at the kill scoreboard, still 1-1. Man, Edok really needs to pop off like how he did it yesterday up against KBG if they really want to get a step closer to the knockouts.
I think either way, you know, whether it's Edok or not, they can kind of just take their time, really, with the lineup that RRQ Hoshi has, especially with the fact that you have a 1-1 in your side and, you know, you want to be able to build up. Because later on, obviously, we've seen the Granger, especially late game, where the Granger in the gold lane eventually gets to. Able to set pace, able to go ahead and use that Destinata to its advantage, and then the Rhapsody. But I'm also wondering, you know, because you have to play against this beacon and you have Sunset Lover on the Jushin pick here, RRQ Hoshi has to kind of choose those fights at the right angle. Yeah, they can rely on a Frigid Glacier and they can rely on a kick to help them out, but there's a lot they have to do in consideration with this. Edok himself takes a couple shots. Go ahead and regen up. I'm not sure if they actually want to commit to this. The rest of the team rotating down. He does flicker defensively. They call it off, but he's dragged back by the Lantern, and that's what we're talking about with the Jushin.
Huge, quick response from Team Spirit. They did cast a glorious pathway, but it was well worth it. They were able to take down Edok. So this is like telling RRQ Hoshi, hey Edok, we've watched how you played yesterday. You're not going to do the same unbelievable Jit Kundo kicks. Unbelievable Way of the Dragon kicks you've been showing yesterday. And now Team Spirit, they're on the verge of securing another turtle away from RRQ Hoshi.
To start things up again, Edok gonna join this fight. Doesn't care what happened earlier. Finds the Way of the Dragon, but he takes too much damage as one shot picks up a kill. Fight's gonna break out of the mid lane. The crossbow of Tang already popped off. The Frigid Glacier will be to lock down one shot. Still looking for the follow through as Susagen gets the turtle and they look for more. Kid Bomba and Sawo trying to run to the safety of the turtle. Hiko jumps in with a Rhapsody and will find a Dyran. And the shot though in response from Susagen. It's a brawl in the mid lane. The drag comes through, and now the flicker from Rins. Skylar's still alive, and it looks like they're going to disengage with Susagen tanking up the Rhapsody shots.
Literally a brawl server. They spent a huge amount of time just in the middle lane. Even if there was a neutral objective, Susagen eyes on the goal, focus on taking down that turret, and you can already see the problem with Skylar with the 1-1. They can soak up the damage of the crossbow of Tang. They have the high-lows with the glorious pathway paired up with the revitalize, but Susagen though.
Good soul sever again. They got to be able to respect that damage, but ultimately no one going to go down, and that's the thing. They do get the tier 1 turret, so RRQ Hoshi has taken that path of let's just get these objectives. Yeah, they'll go ahead and fight out. They'll brawl it out wherever they want, but they'll also just focus on what's important. They got to be able to lock those down before that Lord comes up in less than a minute.
Yeah, for Team Spirit, they really have to utilize the early capabilities of their lineup. We've seen so far that the crossbow of Tang, even if it connected the Kid Bomb or to Sawo, it's almost, the damage is almost non-existent. So at this point, Team Spirit needs to be proactive, needs to dictate the pace, needs to stop RRQ Hoshi from getting the space that they need for Skylar to hyper carry in the end. And all gonna boil down to setups coming in from Kid Bomb or even Sunset Lover with Lantern Flare. So far, Naisu, what can you expect RRQ Hoshi to extend this lead?
To extend the lead, they can continue to go forward. Dyran gonna get locked down under this turret. Does flicker out, able to survive split too. Look at all the members up here, all for Dyran. And now he's gonna wait for the rest of the team as they were focused down in the mid. They drop down the glorious pathway. Edok defensively gets out. Look at that push there too. There's the kick. Way the Dragon on the mark. That's Edok going down though in the exchange, and they're gonna get collapsed down. Double for Hiko, but Sawo finally taken down. But the Lantern Flare brings a triple to the youngest member in M6. Skylar trying to pop off, looking for the crossbow of Tang as he gets the airtime. Picks up a kill himself, and RRQ Hoshi will still hold down the mid lane.
Another extended clash for both of these teams, equal trades. No, Team Spirit actually got 3, but the problem is RRQ Hoshi with Dyran's time bought for their team. Skylar was actually able to push down a bottom lane turret. So it's still the clash, even though Team Spirit got 3 kills. RRQ Hoshi got the better of that trade. And now, in fact, they can actually start things off with the Lord. Again, Edok goes in.
Takes too much damage. As Hiko picks up a kill, Destinata finding the mark on Rins. Rhapsody to follow, pops the passive. Susagen will be able to secure the Lord though, and Kid Bomba on the run. Sunset Lover trying to chase down Susagen, and Hiko is just popping off at this point as he picks up another.
Action is just non-stop. Both teams looking for trades, but again, RRQ Hoshi for the price of Edok, for the price of Susagen, they get the first Lord. They have a lot to work with right now, even with a 500 gold lead. Sunset, look at Skylar right now!
Talk about the confidence there, the veterancy showing. Skylar saw a kill, he goes and grabs it. The Lord is going to be worked on, but again, their focus is these turrets. They take the tier 1 out, now the tier 2 on the top side. RRQ Hoshi will play into that first Lord take.
Wow, just going back at what Skylar said before, that he wanted to guide 4 new members of RRQ Hoshi, first time M Series. He wants them to guide the victory, and clearly so far, he's doing that. They're on the driver's seat, 1.9k, although there are extended clashes that sometimes go in the favor of Team Spirit, but most of the time go in the favor of RRQ Hoshi. You can clearly see the veterancy of Skylar, the shot calls that this team is doing. 1.8k gold lead. Already no outer turrets in the bottom lane and the top lane. And if you're Team Spirit at this point, what can you do to stop the dominance that Skylar has been showing?
Well, they can utilize Hiko here as we get a little preview of the stacks he's got. And this is one of the things that can play a part in Team Spirit obviously staying in the game. It's nothing too crazy, you know, it's just a 2,000 gold deficit that Team Spirit has to work against. And if they can utilize Hiko's power spike, but this could be troublesome. Again, the kick gonna find the mark, in trouble. Winter Crown gonna be used already. One shot trying to stay alive, but Skylar pops in the air again, gets the airtime into the Frigid Glacier. They find one shot, and now RRQ will set their sights on the mid-tier 2.
A lot of ultimates committed from the side of RRQ Hoshi, but the best part is they were able to take down one shot, and literally Edok was one shot away from dying, but safely evades a potential death. So RRQ Hoshi, this time, even though they're committing a lot to those 5-man clashes, they're making sure the Team Spirit doesn't have opportunities to go for trades. And in 40 seconds, RRQ Hoshi again can extend their lead by taking down a Lord, and this time they have huge control over the map, almost just really keeping Team Spirit at bay there by their base. And now, the counterattacks that RRQ Hoshi just keep showing again. Rins, you have to commend the Aurora with the beautiful Frigid Glacier, with the beautiful Frosty Breeze, really setting themselves up perfectly, even with the Glorious Pathway, even with Kid Bomba's Akai. They're starting to have doubts if they would go in because of the counter-initiation of the potential of RRQ Hoshi.
This is tough too. Skylar just picking up the Wind of Nature. Suzujin also Malefic Roar. Big item picks up at this point. 13 minutes of the game. The Lord already started up, and look how fast it's going. I'm not sure if Team Spirit can actually get here in time. They fire off a couple shots, and the Lord already secured by RRQ. They can just back off, and it looks like they'll do just that as they get ready to go ahead and knock on the base of Team Spirit. And with this kind of lead now in their favor, Kid Bomba jumps in. Might have made a mistake here. Still going to be able to survive, but oh no, Suzujin will pick up the kill from the off angle.
I was about to say that was the first neutral objective that doesn't have a post-neutral objective fight. But still, Team Spirit commits the flicker of, commits Kid Bomba's heavy spin to try and go for a trade once again, but RRQ Hoshi was always prepared for that. And again, we have to commit. Rins, always prepared for those kinds of dives coming in from Team Spirit. Whether it's a Frigid Glacier, whether it's a Frosty Breeze, he doesn't care. He's going to cast whatever he needs to bring down the Empire, and Edok goes in!
Edok jumps in again with the Way of the Dragon. They fight into the Frigid Glacier too. He does fall, and now the base turret's going to be worked on. Mid and bottom already down, the top to follow. RRQ with a lead, and the Lord still in tune. They hold on to the top turret. Oh, but the shot from Hiko will be able to find Rins. And that might have been enough to keep Team Spirit obviously into the game. And they hold on to one base turret.
Okay, so in terms of damage, you can already count on Hiko. He does have the Sky Piercer with 70 stacks. So clearly what Death Sonata shot was all he needs to take down Rins. Luckily, prior to that Death Sonata shot, the passive of the Aurora was already expended. So Team Spirit still clinging on to the final inhibitor turret up top. They can make engages. Again, they have the Glorious Pathway. They have Sunset Lover with the Shin. One good take like that could do things.
Kiboma jumps in again. Dyron the target. They're going to fire off, and again, another kill for Hiko. Another stack added. And now they look for more. RQ on the defense. They're running. Even with 2 base turrets down, Team Spirit looking to make plays based off the heavy spin, based off the utility they have here with the lineup.
And this is the thing. This is actually their personality. This is actually their playstyle. According to them, they perform well under pressure. Looking at the current runs in the MCC, they're always used to crawling back to the top from the lower bracket. So in terms of pressure, Team Spirit so far is unbothered. Even Hiko has a slight gold lead up against Skylar with 13.2k gold lead. But at this point, does it even really matter? Because it's all gonna boil down again into the macro gameplay that RRQ Hoshi can instill against Team Spirit.
This has been the story, especially with the Alpha, man. You know, it really falls behind in terms of farming. Oh, hold on, mid lane again. Kid Bulba gonna jump in, finds Rins, and Rins is gone. As Team Spirit finds the pickoff right in time. We're 10 seconds away from this Lord. And without Rins, I don't know, RRQ Hoshi might have to second guess the fight, but they just want to duke it out. You're gonna force Salo. He popped the Revitalize. Tyrant jumps in, still has the Immortality, and one shot goes in too. But still, as they go ahead and size each other up, they'll back off. Skylar's still keeping them at bay. No one going for the Lord just yet. Again, a jump in from Susujin. They really want to limit test this, and he could jump in and start a fight, but it looks like they back off to reset.
RRQ Hoshi limit testing, just trying to buy enough time for Rins to respawn, and they can actually do this because, again, they were able to take down 2 inhibitor turrets, 1 in the middle, 1 in the bottom lane. So Team Spirit, they really need to capitalize on the moment that they're given right now. The window continues to open for the squad. They need a huge major pickoff. That's like what they did against the Rins. And right now they're trying to start things off, trying to bait out RRQ Hoshi by starting the Lord.
Destinata here. Really troublesome to deal with RRQ in the front side. They're going to be able to push Team Spirit off of this Lord, though. They look like they wanted to start it up. But you got to keep in mind, too, they've got the 2 base turrets down. So Team Spirit, how they approach it, who's going to be able to one to start the fight?
It looks like it's going to be a stalemate so far. RRQ Hoshi can indeed play the macro game here. A huge chunk of minions onto the bottom lane. They're going to wait a reaction from Team Spirit, but Team Spirit, they actually know this. They're actually trying to burst down the Lord.
There's the flicker in, forcing Hiko on the back. They were to use the Frigid Glacier, but one shot gets the Lord. Looking for the fight to continue on as RRQ will run into the jungle. They find the airtime. Sunset's gone. Hiko's gone. They lost all their damage as RRQ Hoshi runs into the mid. They'll clear out the Lord and look for more as Skylar is unstoppable. And you can see it as they march into the base. The kingdom, the kings of the Brawl server will win this Brawl tonight.
And a step closer for Skylar and his squad to qualify for the knockout. An amazing, intense performance from RRQ Hoshi. They lost the Lord, but they won the fight in the end by taking down 4, leaving Kid Bomba to fend for himself. What an amazing game, a huge performance, and a very huge win for RRQ Hoshi. That's why, Paddle, I need you to explain what happened during this game.